And welcome back to another episode of More Than a Song with Breanna Megan. This isn't just a place where we talk about melodies and lyrics. This is a place where we talk about the story behind the song, the wrestling, the prayers, the moments when God meets us in the middle of our weakness. That song leading into our program is Breanna's newest, Here I Am. We'll talk about that in just a moment. Today's episode, though, will center around a powerful and deeply vulnerable song from Breanna's album Near, her first album, a song titled, Trust Again. Sometimes, trusting God isn't hard when everything feels clear. It's not hard, when prayers are answered quickly, and it's not hard when the path in front of you, the direction, is clear and obvious. But what about when you've tried to do it your own way? What about when you feel ashamed? When God starts revealing things in your heart that you didn't even realize were there? And Trust Again captures that exact moment. Standing at the shore, wanting more, but realizing that surrender comes before breakthrough. This song isn't just about trust, it's about returning, and it's about beginning again, and it's about choosing to trust when you cannot see. We want to encourage you to visit legacylivingmedia.com, where we have all of our ministry resources as it relates to More Than a Song with Breanna Megan, and also all of our other podcasting resources as well. So we encourage you to check that out. Make sure you subscribe and share this podcast, this program, so that it can get into the ears of more people. It helps this message get out there. And so we do appreciate that. Okay, so first, Breanna, before we dive too much into Trust Again, we did open with a very small snippet of Here I Am. It does not do the song justice. Like I said, it's just the very beginning. We may share a little more at the end, but the song is done and ready for distribution. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah. I have a couple of things I'm trying to work on to get a cover ready and all that so I can release it. But yeah, it's finished and I'm really excited for this song. It's probably, I don't want to say it's my favorite song, but it's up there and I'm really excited for it.
Well, you say that and we were talking.
Yeah, I kind of ruined it.
Well, it was in the last episode, and what we were supposed to be doing was keeping track, and I think we got off track a little bit. But let's get back on track. Apparently, the word of the night. So your favorite up to this point, and we're doing it based on the songs that we've discussed.
Yes.
Is it still In the Silence?
It is.
Okay, so In the Silence remains number one for, I don't know how many weeks at this point, but
I don't know either.
Yeah. All right. Trust Again. So you open with the line, I'm standing at the shore praying for more. What does that shore line represent for you spiritually? Take us into the words of this song.
So this is a really hard song for me to talk about because this is a very vulnerable song. And so I wrote this song April 27th of 2019. And before we started, I was going back and just looking at some things to try to, because I was thinking that I wrote the song about, I knew why this line was written, that this line was never a question. But then I was like, well, I think some other lines were written for something else. But then I went back and I was looking at other things and I realized, no, the entirety of this song was pretty much, I mean, there's other things written in it for, I'll get into all of it, but the majority of this song is for one purpose, and so it's really hard for me to talk about. But I wrote this song on April 27th of 2019, and when I wrote this song, I had just been to one of my childhood friends' bridal showers. She She was getting married, and she had invited me to go to her bridal shower. And I had just prayed the prayer maybe a week or two before this. And I was like, God, I want you to, because I had been on the journey. I had prayed the prayer going into New Year's, into 2019. God, I want you to make me a new person. I want to be the person you want me to be. So lead me into this life that you have for me. And so I start into that journey, and then I get into April, and I start feeling like, okay, I'm starting to get past the things that were haunting me, so to speak. All to be humbled by certain things. And so I prayed this prayer, and I said, God, I want you to show me, if there's anything in me that is unclean, if there's anything in me that I need to work on, if there's anything in me that I need to fix. And boy, did he show me some things. So the first thing he showed me was apparently I had some jealousy going on. So my shoreline, my thing that I was praying for at that time in my life and continue to pray for, was, she was getting married. That's something I've always longed for. And it was one of those moments, God, why not me? Why is she get that when I've always prayed for that? Why is she getting something that I've always wanted and I don't get that? And so I was throwing a pity party for myself, and I wrote the line, I'm standing at the shore, praying for more, wanting you to sweep me off my feet, praying, God, sweep me off my feet. Give me what I want. Show me the things that I want. And so that's why that first line was written.
So I guess that was, a bit of the specific moment when you felt like you're standing at the shore, praying for more, I assume, the praying for more. So someone may hear this and think that this is you saying, I'm standing at the shore praying for more spiritually, but that's not necessarily what that line means.
No. Ever since I was a kid, I've always wanted two things I always wanted to be more than anything was a wife and a mother. Two things that I have yet to become. And that's what that line was. That was what I was praying for.
Okay.
I don't think you knew that.
No, I didn't.
That's why I've kind of been dreading this song.
You've had a sense of dread?
I have about this song. I have. Because I knew why I wrote it, obviously, and I was like, this will be a hard one to talk about.
Okay, so I'm standing at the shore praying for more, wanting you to sweep me off my feet. And you did touch on that, but then it says, I don't recognize the person deep inside, but I'm praying you will show me. What does that mean?
So I had prayed that God would show me the things within me. And like I said, I was at a friend's bridal shower. So then one of the things that I recognized was the jealousy. I had jealousy, and I was happy for people, but it was like I'm seeing things like I want that, and I'm not getting that. And then it was, why not me? Why am I not getting that? And then as the song goes on, it is also the feelings of I was holding unforgiveness that I didn't know yet that I was still holding on to, the hurt and the pain. And so all of that was hitting me all at once. Because again, I had prayed that prayer, God, show me what I need to fix. Like, we started the year, I'm going deeper in you, but here I am once again asking you to show me what's in me that is not pleasing to you.
Well, let me ask you something, because again, I'm learning tonight. I did not know this. So, did you feel that somehow God was withholding from you because there was somehow something wrong within you? Is that what this is about, or?
Yes. There were thoughts of, yeah, like, why not me's came from a place of, what have I done wrong? What have I done to prevent your hand from, and if I'm honest, I have to still fight those feelings, those thoughts, to this day, because I still don't have those things. And so to this day, I still fight those feelings, those thoughts. So yes, a lot of that was those feelings and thinking that had I done something to prevent, I mean, I know that's not God's character, but I was fighting those feelings and those thoughts.
So obviously there's a lot of people out there that naturally, without a shadow of a doubt, they feel like that there's some bit of goodness in their life that's missing, that they've longed for. You know, the Bible says that he'll give us the desires of our heart. So there's absolutely zero way that someone else out there is not, it's experiencing something very similar. You say, I don't recognize the person deep inside, but I'm praying you will show me. So again, so you're fighting these feelings that are emerging in this moment in time in life. And it kind of brought some stuff to the surface that you maybe didn't realize you had. Is that what that means?
Yes. And I was genuinely asking God, like, show me anything unclean. It's like that prayer that David prayed, you know, show any unclean spirit within me, you know, and that's what I was praying. I was in that place of, I want to do your will. I want your will for my life. And I don't want anything to get in the way in the way of that. And the song started, as many of my songs start, with the emotion. You know, I'm feeling this way. Here I am feeling this way. But then it changes to that spirit of, like, hey, God, I'm standing here. I'm wanting this. But then it changes to, it doesn't matter as much about those things as I just want your will for my life.
So one of the things we've talked about, I think for just about every song that we've profiled, and I think, are we on 6 or 7?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. So one of the things we've talked about is that how quickly these songs come to you. Like I would call them nearly instantaneous, right? So
yes,
like you sit down and boom, they're just as fast as you can write, the words are going to paper. So I guess just a very basic question I have is, was this song the same way?
It was, yes.
Okay, so this is what I find quite remarkable so you're writing about a void in your life and in your heart, that comes from a place of despair, but yet longing, and yet he gives you the words to write about it.
Yeah. It's still, I know, like, I'm the one that writes them down, but it still blows my mind that he does that. And I know I'm not something special. Like, I'm not like some special case. Like, there's many that do things like that. It reminds me of how what the enemy meant for evil, he can turn for good, or he does turn for good. That's what that reminds me of. Like, I could have rested in the wallowing. I could have rested in my flesh wanted to, and oftentimes my flesh wants to, but he turns it every time. And there's so many songs that's running through my head right now, and I won't bring them up because it'll ruin it for the next episodes. But there's so many songs that come through to my mind that I started writing them because of whatever situation, whatever I was feeling, and he turned them. And I'm glad we're doing this because like most of the time people would hear these songs and be like, that really? Like you wrote this song because of that? Like no one would know. And it is kind of crazy how they come to be, I guess. I don't know.
So you say, I've tried it my own way. I feel so ashamed. What was God teaching you? What did you learn about independence versus surrender when you wrote this?
As humans, as a person who likes to be in control, you naturally just want to do things yourself. You want to force things. You want to try to make things work or whatever. You try to navigate. You try to figure it out. And really, like, I wrote that line. I don't even know why I wrote that line. So it wasn't like I was actively doing anything to like try to do it my own way. Mm-hmm. But in my head, I was trying to make sense of why, God, why? And because I was trying to make sense of it in my own head, which never works, I was feeling ashamed because it was like, here I have all these ideas and all these pathways of how it could be, but none of them made sense to me because obviously I'm not God and I don't understand his ways. And so it finally got me to the place of, it took me a long time, but it got me to the place of, I don't know your plans. I don't know your ways. I don't understand how you work. I'm not you. And so I can't put things together. I can't work in the behind the scenes. I can't put things, if I put my hands in it, it becomes messy. And so I've had to learn throughout life that I have to take my hands off the wheel and just let him do it. And it's really hard because when you don't see it, when you don't see something happening, you think he's not working or he's not moving or he's not doing something. And so it feels like there's inaction. But what I've learned is that just because you don't see something doesn't mean that he's inactive. It just means that he's probably working behind the scenes in some way. And you have to learn to trust the behind the scenes that you don't always see.
You say, I feel so ashamed. Shame is such a real emotion. Especially, I apologize, especially for Christians in the Christian walk. How did God respond to you? Because there's a lot there, a lot that I didn't realize was there, but there's a lot there. How did he meet you in that place?
This is still a path. Like I said, this was an episode I was dreading. It's like so hard for me to even talk about it. This is a path that I'm still walking. So it's not necessarily, I can't even go back to that moment. What was he teaching me then? Because it's still a road I'm walking. Because back then I would say I just received comfort to just comfort, like no real answers, just comfort.
So I'm going to pause you. So Here I Am, the song we talked about, we opened up with, and we don't typically do this, but there's a line in there that says, now that I am older. So, there's, from the time that you wrote Trust Again, there's at least 5 years that passes. Mm-hmm. So you say, and here I am, now that I am older, I find comfort in the smallest things. Is that essentially what you're saying here now? Like, because you say, the path before you is the longing is still not fulfilled. The desire of the heart is still not has not been provided up to this point. And and again, I can only imagine that just you would very likely fight as time passes. The challenge would be greater.
It is greater. It's harder because you get older, and God has done a beautiful job at teaching me who I am. Yet I still fight the feelings that I have fought in the past. So when I wrote this song, it was, what's wrong with me? Why does no one choose me? What is wrong? Why? All those thoughts. Now it's not that. It's, I just haven't found who God has for me yet. And I trust that God has someone. It's just, I haven't found them yet. And
so that's a positive. So when you wrote the song, you felt that you were the problem. You don't feel like that anymore.
no,
Okay. So that's progress. I would
yes,
think that's progress.
it is. But then there's the days that are hard, and it is hard, if you've ever waited, and we've all waited for something, and no matter what it is, and I think society does an awful job, because society teaches us it's like the McDonald's world. Here's your order, give it to me, and in 5 minutes you'll have it. And so as people in general, you think, okay, I'm going to pray a prayer and I'm going to have it right now. And that doesn't always work, and it doesn't always happen. And so I've had to check myself. Am I praying this prayer just to get it? Am I asking God for these things just to do it or get it? Am I doing these things as a Christian just to have it? And so I think even during this time of this song, it was the switch in the song of, I know you have a plan. I don't want to do it my own way. And I'm going to trust that you have a plan. Even when I don't understand, even when it doesn't make sense. And I want to trust again. I want to trust you. I want to believe you. I want to believe that you have good things for me. I want to believe that when the Bible says you'll give us the desires of our heart, you will. I want to believe that. I don't right now, but I want to believe that. And it was him kind of molding that in me and teaching me that and kind of changing the way I saw things, I guess. And I think that was really what was happening when I wrote this song.
So you said when you said I don't feel that way right now, I don't believe that right now, you're looking back to when you wrote the song.
Yes, yeah.
So then the question is, what do you believe now?
I've prayed many prayers. And I just prayed one a few months ago. My prayer was simple. And I said this. I said, God, ever since I was a young girl, I wanted to be a mom and a wife. Those are the two things I've wanted. And I'm not going to be a mom without being a wife. But you know that already. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm giving you my heart again. And I'm asking you to take it. And I'm asking you to protect it. And I'm asking you to keep it until the man you have for me comes. And if he never comes, it doesn't matter because I have you. And that's all that matters. And that doesn't mean it's not going to hurt. And it doesn't mean it's not going to sting. And it doesn't mean that I'm not going to be upset. But I'm not on this earth to just be with a man and to just be a mom. I'm on this earth to serve you. And that's really my heart. And if those two things don't happen, then they don't happen. Do I believe they'll happen? Yes, one day. When? I don't know. And that's the hard part. But I do trust him. And I believe that one day when he sees fit, and for whatever reason he hasn't seen fit, but when he does, it'll happen. But I'm also trying to trust that he's using this season for a bigger purpose. And so when I was younger, I always said that I wanted to be an author. That was something I always wanted to be. And maybe you writing your book kind of like was like, okay. But I remember back in September, and I had talked to this guy, and he ended up just, ghosting me for a while, and then he came back and he's like, my heart belongs to someone else. And I was like, all right, that's fine, buddy. And I just, whatever, because I'm not messing with them, whatever. And I didn't respond to him and moved on. And so after that was like my pushing point. And I thought, I'm not playing the game anymore. And actually after that moment, that's when I prayed that prayer. And I started writing a book then, and it's titled When Waiting Whispers. And I have all the chapters laid out, and I've started writing here and there, different places. But it's just about waiting, but through a biblical lens. But it also talks about like my story. And I just give like, different things. But I'm hoping that in some way, one day, my story of waiting will encourage someone else who struggles with the same real struggle, whether it be for waiting for what I'm waiting for, or waiting for healing, or waiting for something else. But just waiting on God, because it is a real thing, and it is a real struggle, and it is a real weight. And it's not often a weight that we see. It's a weight that is internal, and it's on the mind. And I know how it feels, and I'm sorry if I'm rambling, but I just feel like I should. Like, I know what it feels like to put on that smile when you don't feel like it. And I know what it feels like to act like you're okay when you're not. And I know what it feels like to just bear the weight, but you don't want anybody else to see it. And if you find yourself in that place, just know that you're not alone. I didn't mean to find it. I was getting the song lyrics, and I found this book that I have that I was writing stuff in. And I wrote I don't know if you want to call it a poem or what, but I wrote it on May 18th of 2024, and I was going to read it. It says, tired soul, why are you weary and heavy laden? Don't you know I have you and I've never let you go? Broken and tired, I know you are scared, feeling hopeless from this weight that you bear, struggling to breathe with loads of anxiety. Let go, my dear child, let me hold you, my child. I see you even though you feel alone. I have you as you walk along. Feel my presence near, let me change your atmosphere. Consumed by my fire you'll be if you simply learn to trust in me.
So I'll say a couple things. One, obviously, Breanna's my daughter, so there's a profound. I'm really proud of her. I think that you talk about waiting for the man that God has for you, and it's not there yet. It's hard because you've chosen to do it the right way, and that brings zero comfort, I know, but your worldview and your mentality is so opposite of the direction of society. And we talked about this, I think, on one of the early episodes when you were talking about like one of your friends. You could go bar to bar, go out on a Friday night. You could, go into all those places that everybody else goes, and you can find someone. There's no doubt, right? But there's a bigger plan here, and it's your heart not willing to compromise that I think makes the process a little more challenging. And but that doesn't mean that God is not up to something, and I obviously believe that He is. So, why do you think we often ask God to reveal things, but then we're so overwhelmed when He actually does?
That's a loaded question. I don't know. There's sometimes it's like, let's put that genie back in the bottle, and then you can't. Like, there's been so many times I've prayed prayers, and I'm like, I remember I prayed the prayer of patience one time and regretted that.
Fun.
Never prayed that again. So I don't know. I don't know if it's like a pride thing, like, oh, there's nothing in me. God's not going to show me anything. Or if because maybe, because I really didn't think there was, like, I thought we really handled everything. Like, I thought we really took care of everything. And then I prayed that prayer from a pure heart, and He listens to those prayers, obviously, your pure-hearted prayers. And if you're asking God sincerely, hey, show me something, He's going to show you. And so I don't know. I think maybe we're overwhelmed by it because it's like our flesh, our spirit is willing, but our flesh is weak. And our spirit is ready and wants to begin fighting the things. But then our flesh is like, whoa. I did not agree to take out the jealousy. I did not agree to take out the anger. I did not agree to this. Like, why are we doing that? And so I would go back to that. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But I would say that our spirit is willing, but our flesh is just weak.
Yeah. What does trust in God look like when you don't see the outcome? And I know you've touched on this a little bit, but like, if you could encourage someone out there right now listening that, the Bible teaches us to walk by faith and not by sight. So basically, you walk by what you believe, not by what you see. And so there's someone out there, I would imagine there's many people out there that are trying to trust God when they don't know what the outcome is. They don't see the outcome. What advice or what encouragement would you give them?
For me, it's a daily thing. It's a daily act of surrender. And, my battleground is my mind. And I'm sure that that's for many people. The mind is the battleground. And when I'm feeling overwhelmed or when I'm feeling tired or weak, I always try to just be like, okay, I'm going to focus on God. I remind myself who He is. I remind myself His promises. But I also have little things. And actually the song Here I Am talks about this. But just things that ever since I was young that I just have always just stuck out to me, like going outside and looking up to the stars and or feeling the breeze or seeing the birds. Just nature in general has always been something for me that's been just an outlet. And it helps remind me that if God can create all of this, and if God can perfectly align all of this, then surely he has me. Surely he has a purpose and a plan. And it brings comfort. It doesn't take all of it away, but it does bring comfort. But I would say that, when you can't see and when it's so uncertain, that it's so important to just find time to be with him, because the world is loud. The voices are loud. Like, I went through a phase of just like everything was so loud. Everybody had opinions. Everything was so loud, but I just needed him. And I think that it's so important to just find time to be with him, whether that's a walk and you're talking to him or your daily devotionals or whatever, but just find time to be with him, because only he can satisfy. And what I've found is that when you find time to be with him, like just writing this song, like I went in not understanding, not knowing what was going on, but when I left, I found a little more peace. I found a little more trust. Not because I had the answers, not because I knew what was going on, not because I had all of the things figured out, but because I knew that he had it. And I always try to imagine myself just being held in his hands, like the earth is his footstool. And if the earth is his footstool, then I fit right in his hand. And so I think of all these things, and I'm visual, and that helps me. And so that's how I get through it.
There's a declaration, I would call it a declaration, because we've talked about, standing at the shore and praying for more, wanting you to sweep me off my feet. I don't recognize the person deep inside, but I'm praying you will show me. And then I've tried to do it my own way. I feel so ashamed. I've tried to skip the part where you come in, but I'm ready to begin. And then there's a bit of a declaration. It's very reminiscent of a psalm. I know there's a plan. I know you've got it in your hands. I know you see me and my circumstance. So help me to trust again. So that's a bit of a declaration, or at least it seems to me like that's what that is.
Yeah, because I went in to writing this again, all like I didn't trust. I wasn't feeling it. But then I go into this chorus and it's like, I know there's a plan, because I know the character of God. I know who he is. I know all he's done. I know he has it in his hands, because that's just who he is. He has it all figured out. And he does see me. He does see you. He does see our circumstances. But then there's that sense of, but I'm weak. So help me, because I might feel strong. Right? I might leave this song writing session. I might leave this moment and feel strong, but I am going to feel weak again, because I am human and that is natural. So help me to trust again. Help me when I'm weak. Help me when I fall down to trust. And I mean, this has been an anthem, a declaration, whatever. Like, this has been a continuous thing. Just help me to trust again.
You say I've tried to skip the part where you come in. Why do you think we try to skip that part?
If for me, it's because not that I know that I can't do it. Like, I know I can't make things work any better than he can, but sometimes I think I can make the process a little faster. So I'm like, well, if I can help you, God, let me help you. And then I always just screw it up anyway. So I I think that's why, we just get in a hurry. We don't see him in action. It goes back to that inactive part. We don't see him in action, so we think that's him being inactive when really he is moving. We just don't always see it. And so we try to skip ahead.
So then what do you mean when you say I'm ready to begin? Is that like say, okay, I'm going to start over here, or I'm ready to begin? I'm ready. It's actually, I'm ready to begin. Does it actually mean I'm ready to stop skipping over you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm trying to find where you're actually at because I lost my place.
Oh, we're going over Trust Again. It's a song by Breanna Megan.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, like, I try to skip the part where you come in. Yeah, like, I've tried to completely, not that, like, I was, like, trying to really kick him out, like, because I wasn't, but I was trying to figure things out myself.
Sure.
And, I guess not intentionally taking things to him, like, and he's helped me with this because I used to, like, try to figure it out myself, then take it to God. But now it's, all right, we're going to figure this out first, and then, or I'm going to take it to God first, and then, everything else will follow is the path I'm on now. Although, and I don't know if this is a good thing, bad thing, whatever. Now I'm to the place where I'm like, okay, God, I need a sign. Should I take this step of faith? Should I move forward? I don't want to move forward if I don't know. And then it becomes like I'm waiting for all of these signs, and then I never get these signs, and then I'm like, okay, so does that mean I shouldn't move? And then I just literally do nothing. And then I'm like, I don't know. So I don't know. I've totally like turned, like, so I used to like try to figure it out myself, then take it to him. Now I'm like looking for all these signs.
You're like, Lord, you better do it because I'm not.
Right. Yes. Exactly. Yeah. So I don't know.
All right. So let's talk about the overall sort of dynamic of Trust Again as it relates to the album, Near. How do you think that Trust Again fits into the overall message of the album Near?
I'm trying to pull it up so I can see where it falls in here. So it falls after Fighting My Battles, and then right before the song Near. Really, and I remember putting how I was going to put these songs like in the flow. I remember writing them down, and I remember putting them in order on purpose. How I did it, like on purpose, but I put it right after Fighting My Battles because, like I was talking about resting in God and all the things, and you can listen to that episode, but trusting God after the battle, trusting like, okay, we made it through, but now I'm weak, and now I'm battered and I'm bruised. So now I need strength again. And that's why I put this song after that. I don't know if I'm answering your question correctly. And so that's why I put Trust Again after Fighting My Battles. It was kind of like, okay, I've been in the battle. I've fought this fight. Now I need strength. Now I need you to
like
come
a reset.
in. Yes. And that's why I put this song there. I don't want to explain why I put it before Near, because then that'll give away Near.
Gives away Near.
Yeah.
Which is the next episode, making it Near.
That's good.
I thought so.
You should be like an author or something.
An author or something?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll look into that.
Okay.
Okay, well, so, and speaking of Near, we are 2 episodes away from bringing your sister on.
We were talking about that today. She's like, when am I coming on your show? And I was like, well, I don't know. Let me look. So I pulled it up and I said, well, we're doing Trust Again tonight, which means there's Near and then there's our song. And she was like, okay, so we have like 3 episodes till I'm on. And I was like, well, 2.
2.
And she was like, okay, well, I really don't know how that's going to go. So.
Well, she's really well spoken. She'll do fine.
Yeah, she will.
She'll do fine. And that song is "I Want More of You, Jesus." She actually she wrote most of that, right?
She did. I only wrote the verse that I sing on it,
Mm-hmm.
and then the part of the bridge I wrote, but everything else she wrote.
Okay.
So really, it's a Faith Danielle special.
Faith Danielle special. All right. Well, that's like I said, a couple episodes away. So Near will be the next episode. And I remember that was written like after you were already working on the album, and it was a late edition.
Yeah, because we had already started the process, and honestly, there were I think 3 songs we added late. Like I think there were, because maybe not. Maybe it was 2 or 3.
I think you were originally at 10 and it went to 12.
Yeah. Because I know Dancing with the King, I think was a late edition.
I think that and Near, if I recall.
Yeah. So maybe it was 9 songs and then it went to 12. I think that's what happened. I think it was only going to be 9 and then it went to 12.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So the song enters the bridge, Trust Again, enters the bridge, and it says, trust you when I can't see, trust when it's not right in front of me, trust you. I want to trust you, Lord. Trust you when I can't see, trust when it's not right in front of me, trust you. I want to trust you, Lord.
That's just me declaring, like, literally, when I can't see what you have, when I can't see what I want, when the desires of my heart aren't in front of me, when the things that I desire aren't tangible, that they're not in front of my eyes, help me to still trust you. Help me to still know that you have a purpose, you have a plan, that you've never left me, you've never forsaken me. Help me to know that you've got me, and that doesn't matter what happens, that we're in this together, really. And that's really what that bridge is saying. It's pretty straightforward, honestly.
Is that like a veiled criticism?
No.
Okay.
If you took it that way, I'm sorry.
Well, we'll have to work this out later. I don't know that the listening audience wants to.
Well,
no, obviously.
Meet me outside. Okay.
We can do that. All right. Okay, so next episode will be Near. And I think for me, Near was the song where I was like, okay, we're on to something here.
Yeah. Yeah, because Near was added.
I thought lyrically, I remember lyrically, I thought it was the best that you had written, and felt so strongly about it that we talked about, okay, we're going to name it's the name of the album, Near.
Yeah, and I remember playing it for you actually for the first time, and you were like, wow, I like it.
Yeah, that I think lyrically it was the strongest for me at that point. I think for me, looking back, and we've talked about this first album, like if you go to iTunes and you listen to it, it's not up to the quality, the novices starting out, right? To the point that you've talked about, like re-recording some of those. As a matter of fact, in the new album, as a matter of fact, the song getting worked on right now is In the Silence.
Yeah.
Because you re-recorded it. But anyway, so, but this program, this podcast has helped me, I don't know, kind of revisit these songs, and I don't know, I have more of a, I don't know what the word would be, but I have more of a profound, like, understanding and respect. The word that I want to use, I can't find, and it's driving me crazy. So I'm just throwing out word salad at this point. But, yeah, it's gone. I don't know. But anyway.
It was never there, so.
It was there, actually. Yeah. Appreciation. That's it. And such a challenging word. I have more of a profound appreciation for the words that were penned during that time. And so, and I personally think that it's only gotten better, that as God has used you and you've grown as a songwriter, it's gotten better. And so next week, or next episode, I should say, we'll do Near and break that down. I'm looking forward to that. And then, we're kind of in the home stretch with that first album.
And the nitty-gritty.
The nitty-gritty. And then we'll start talking about your second album.
The Rescue.
Yeah, which was very good.
Yeah, I like that album. It's hard for me to listen to the first album just because like my voice wasn't great. Like I didn't like my voice back then.
Well, and so the dynamic of the first album versus the second album. So the first album was, again, we had no idea what we were doing. It was literally you sang into a microphone, and there was no producer involved. So if you have a producer involved, a producer saying, let's record that. Let's go back. Let's cut that. Let's try that again. So that was all very raw. Mm-hmm. Very raw, and in the second album, that person was present. They said, okay, let's get that again. Let's go back and let's do that again. And plus the second album had a whole studio full of musicians. And
there was a live band as we were doing it.
And it was just a whole different experience. And the same is true for the third album, Piece by Piece, that is piece by piece coming out. So, And so we kind of know now the direction. And
in that first album, I didn't realize what all it took. I didn't realize how different singing for an album was than singing on stage in front of people.
Yeah.
Like it takes so much more out of your voice, and I didn't realize it would. I don't know why it does. I don't know.
I think if you go back and listen, you can hear that.
Yes. There's a lot more strain. There's a lot more like, and the people that recorded the first album, I love them. They're awesome people.
Yeah.
Like nothing against them. It was just, we had no idea what we were doing. And I think like, I could have been like, hey, and I was so timid too. Like, looking back, if I would have been like, hey, I don't really like how my voice sounded there. Could we re-record that? Like he would have been like, sure, let's go.
And I wasn't a part of the process at all, really.
No, like I was just going to their house doing it. And so like, but had I been like, hey, but I'm so shy. Like I was like, I'm not going to like, I don't want to offend anybody, even though it's my voice. I don't want to offend anybody. So
because they were trying. I mean,
yeah. So, there was nothing there. Like, so it's just hard for me because it's like, for me, it's like, ugh, my voice sounds like, and I'm my biggest critic. So like, even when we get new albums and new music that comes back to us now, it's like, oh, I hear something that you might not hear. And I'm like, did you hear my voice do that? And sometimes you do hear it, but I'm like, did you hear my voice do that?
My microphone. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
I've been having this bout with coughing. And so I was trying to turn the microphone off, so I didn't do what I just did. And, but anyway, so, I don't know why, but I have a tendency to hear things like if I'm having a conversation with someone and like, just like, I think I have a little bit of hearing loss because like sometimes I'm like, what, huh, what, and it's probably because of 20 some years of headphones on my ears and doing radio and podcasting and different things. But like, I hear little things, and a lot of times it's the repetitive things that absolutely just about drives me insane. And so I pick up on some of those things, but that's neither here nor there. I don't know why the buttons on this board are yellow now. I pushed it to try to keep from coughing into the microphone, and now they're yellow. I hope that can you hear me?
Yes. Okay. Everyone can hear you.
Can you hear me now? Okay. All right. Well, we're going to wrap things up. Anything else you want to add, Breanna, before we close this thing out?
No, I think if I add anything else to this song or anything, I'll cry. But I will say, if you would like, follow me on social media. I am trying to get better at posting things. I've never been good at that. I've never been great. I see all these musicians and they're like posting stuff all the time and stuff. And I've never been good at that, but I am trying to get better. So, you can follow me on social media, Breanna Megan. My name is spelled with an E, not an I, if that helps you any.
Yeah.
So social media.
That helps me.
Breanna Megan Music on social media and YouTube, and then on every single platform at Breanna Megan was where you can find my music, and then of course the podcast. So,
and how how about, okay, I don't know what's happening. I've pushed so many buttons and the thing is off the rails. First listening audience, I apologize for the coughing. I could go back and edit it out, but we like the more authentic, real type feel of the program. Although at the very start of the program, there was this, I don't know, I heard in my headphones some sort of like, I don't know, it sounded like an
ungodly growl.
Yeah, it sounded, I had never heard that sound come from man or beast. And but it was apparently your stomach. And so I was
a little hungry.
We were just starting the recording process, and I hear this in the headphones, and I actually just stopped and went, what was that? I didn't know if something was coming out, in the room or what was happening. And she was like, that was my stomach. So we did cut that out. So I saved you from that. But, in turn, you had to turn around and hear me cough. So I do apologize for that. So, all right. Don't forget to stop by legacylivingmedia.com. You'll find all of our different things there. As we close out today's episode, I want to leave you with this thought. Trust is not proven when everything makes sense. Trust is proven when nothing does. And trust, again, isn't just lyrics. And Breanna, she broke that down. She talked about where she was. But trust, again, is prayer, it's decision, and it's returning. And you can hear that in the lyrics of her song. She says, I'm going to trust again, or I'm ready to begin. I've kind of did things my own way, but I'm ready to start allowing you to be a part of the process. And so maybe you're like that. Maybe you're standing at the shore. Maybe you're praying for more. Maybe you're wanting God to sweep you off of your feet. You're waiting on him to move. And yet deep down, you know that there's places in your heart that you just haven't allowed. Let's call it surrender. You haven't surrendered. It's an area of your heart you haven't surrendered. Proverbs 3, verses 5-6 says, trust in the Lord with all of your heart. Lean not on your own understanding. In all of your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths. And so notice it doesn't say trust him when you understand. It says essentially trust him when you don't understand, meaning don't lean on your understanding, but rely completely and totally upon him. And that is the tension that I believe you can find in this song, Trust Again. It's captured, I believe, beautifully in Trust Again. It's the tension that you feel of, I'm trying to walk by faith, but I'm struggling because of what I see. And so trust when you can't see, trust when it's not right in front of you, as the lyrics say, and trust when he begins to reveal the parts of you that need healing. She talked about that as well. Some of the stuff that she didn't realize existed, it came to the surface. And so maybe the most powerful line in the entire song is this: I'm ready to begin. Because that's grace. There was an option there. There was a choice there. That is the gospel. You don't have to stay stuck in the same place. You don't have to stay stuck in your shame. You don't have to have your feet planted on the shore, not moving. You don't have to keep doing it your own way or someone else's way. You don't have to skip the part where he comes in, because you can begin again. The new beginning is there. And so if this episode or any episode resonated with you, I want to encourage you, don't just listen, respond. And it's a very simple prayer. Lord, help me trust again. That's what the song's all about. So as always, I want to thank Breanna for her vulnerability. It's not easy to talk about these things. She's saying things that I did not know. And, she felt led to share her heart and to be authentic. And that's who she is. But thank you not only for Trust Again, but for all the songs that you've written and that you've shared, and how you've told the listening audience not only where the place they came from, but how they made you feel. And so thank you.
Thanks for listening, and thanks for listening to my tears sometimes too, because it is hard to get out. But I'm trying to be honest. So
I believe that transparency and authenticity is exactly what the world needs, especially in this day and hour. So To all of you listening, remember this: sometimes the most spiritual thing you can do is start over. Start over, begin again. Hope to see you or be with you again next time on More Than a Song. We're going to give you a little more of Here I Am. It will be out. I don't know when, Breanna. I don't know what that looks like process-wise.
I haven't. I don't know. I don't have a date yet. I still have to get it in the system still because I need to get, like I said, I need to get the cover album, like the album cover or the single cover. Yeah,
weeks away.
Yeah, it's still a couple weeks out, but hopefully soon. It'll be out soon. Really excited for that to come out.
And we'll talk about that here, obviously. But until then, here's a portion of Here I Am. It's we're really excited to get it out there. I know it's a song that will be a blessing to you. So until next time. God bless you. This has been More Than a Song with Breanna Megan. Take care. I couldn't help but smile, 'cause I knew you placed it there. Now that I am older, I find comfort in the smallest things. 'Cause I can see this big old world. Yeah, you thought it needed one like me. I'm unworthy, yet you call me to you. I'm unworthy, yet you show me your truth. I don't understand why you would choose me, but I'm honored that you would use me. Here I am, Lord, mold me as clay. Here I am, Lord, forever I am changed. I don't wanna go where you don't lead me. Please just guide and direct me. Here I am yours. Here I am, Lord. In the ocean tides, I see your hand. In the twinkling of the stars, I trust your plan.